Hey, how's it going everyone? So in today's video, I'm actually going to be showing you how we do sales for our own agency and how you can really make sure it works for yourself by just, us distinguishing like what we do and how you can use it yourself. And one of the key concepts we're going to be discussing is up security versus an agency brand. And by just understanding that concept, how you can make sure you make the sale before the call even happens, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before I dive into the video, I just wanted to quickly announce that a couple of spots have opened up for a one-on-one agency mentorship program. So if you're actually interested in getting some help with your agency or consulting business in starting or growing it, you can actually use the link in the description down below to schedule a call with myself or Danny. So with that out of the way, let's dive right into the video. So welcome back guys to a new video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about on how to sell your agency service. And what I want to disclose in this video is number one, a concept that is called up security versus an agency brand. And I'll be explaining everything from theory to practice and what to actually do when you come from a place of up security, the sales, how to really approach it, and absolutely just elaborate on everything on the bullet points here, and the structure that comes along with sales. So how to chronologically follow it so you can go from the start of the conversation to the end of the conversation where you have a new client and a new relationship built. Okay, so we're going to start here. So this is the concept, up security versus an agency brand. So let me just first of all elaborate on up security. So what most people do, I did too, and I still have an outreach client acquisition stream running that comes from a place of up security, and that is cold email. But what most people do is this. So it's cold calling, it's cold outreach, it's door-to-door sales. And the problem kind of with this is that number one, there's no long tail to it. You're not really building on anything. You're not building like a credible brand for yourself, for instance, agency brand, which I'll get onto in a second here. And whenever you do this, you always come from a place of obscurity, right? So when you're cold calling someone, people don't know who you are. They, you're not credible because they've never talked to you before. And once again, they don't know who you are. And when you, talk about your service in the first cold call ever, it's kind of sketchy, like a telemarketer is calling you, right? So there's like a problem with the value hurdle and the trust hurdle, right? Which are two key things to get people over if you want to sell a service, for instance. And same with, cold outreach. So if you just send cold email after cold email, if, you do Facebook message after Facebook message, a LinkedIn message after a LinkedIn message, you always just come from a place of obscurity, right? If you don't post any content, for instance, and people just constantly don't know who you are if they go to your profile, it's just, a person reaching out to a person with no credibility or any value really to give from the prospect's perspective. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely close clients doing this. We've closed a client from cold calls, we've closed a client from cold email. But when it comes down to the long-term run, it's really important you actually build an agency brand. So there's like a long tail to the effort you're putting in and out, day in and day out. Okay. And the problem with this is it's impossible to really make the sale before the first call ever. Okay. Whereas with an agency brand, if you actually make valuable, resonating content, then people will actually start to see the value of what you do. They'll see you as an expert, and whenever they need someone in the market you're in and you're providing valuable, resonating content for, they'll come to you and ask for a strategy session or just a simple call or some help, right? Whatever it may be. And just to give you an example of this, because I'm also going to be making a video about this, how you can start doing this for your market and how you can apply it to practice, okay? But just an example of this, for plastic surgeons, let's say they open they use some new technology because the industry is quite advancing there, and they want to use it for customers. We could just go into the Facebook group and our personal wall and just show them how they can start marketing it, with effectiveness and actually get a result out of it, right? And that is valuable, resonating. So it actually resonates with the market content that actually helps the people we're serving, right? And then also, and by the way, I'm using Facebook here as an example all the time when I'm talking. And client results, right? So if I post on my wall that a plastic surgeon has been able to get 10 new breast augmentation patients in a singular month, and other plastic surgeons see that and they want it too, then they just come to me and I'm directly credible, and they know I can provide a value because I've done it for someone else, for instance, right? And when this happens and they hop on a sales call already understanding who you are, what you've been able to do, the sales a lot easier, and it literally just happens before the call, which makes the call, don't get me wrong, it's not super easy, but compared to this, it's really easy, okay? And then also, these are just two consistent things you do over and over again until you get people to reach out to you, right? And this is kind of like a compound effect and the long tail I was referring to. So, while this is compounding and building up when you're just starting your agency brand, it's important to build relationships with people in your market, right? So when you're actually doing this, it's just about having good intentions with the person, providing value, helping out, and not being needy, right? And this is a really key concept to just understand, because once they're actually over the value and trust hurdle, then the sales call is super easy once again, right? So big difference between these two, and just understanding this concept and playing in on this one will really help you out in the long term, okay? And so if you actually you're currently doing cold calls, you're doing cold email, LinkedIn messages, you're not really building a brand for yourself around your agency, then here's a quick way how to fix it when you're hopping on a sales call, right? If you've got a sales call tomorrow or later on. And so basically, when you're coming from a place of obscurity, we got you. Okay, so basically what we've been able to do is actually make a case study video for you all, totally for free, no strings attached. It's basically our last YouTube video where we first of all show you how to present the case study, and second of all, we give you this case study for nothing, like for free, just because you guys are subscribed to us and we appreciate that. So basically, if you go to that video, you can go ahead, check it out. And this case study will help you get over the value and trust hurdle, right? That's literally what the whole case study covers. So there's just a quick fix if you come from a place of obscurity, and how you can fix it in practice, okay? Now the following thing, what I want to talk about is the sales and the structure that comes along while you're actually making the sale, taking the prospect from point A to point B, right? So the first thing is really small talk, right? And most of the things right here you guys are already familiar with, but I'm actually going to elaborate on it and how we do it in practice, okay? And also what I'm going to be doing right now, so if you're watching this video, you can go to the description. We'll link in 2 sales calls we've closed, so one plastic surgeon and another client. So that's just something you can check out, so you can actually see that we've done it ourselves too, and you can learn from the call itself, okay? So small talk. So what small talk in my eyes really serves for is breaking the ice, breaking the uncomfort, and just kind of getting ready for the call, right? It's kind of weird, it's the same when you're dating, for instance. If you dive right into the business of it, it's kind of weird when you haven't even had small talk yet, right? Same with a prospect. So it really just serves to erase that uncomfort, break the ice, and make the conversation just a lot more flexible and allowing the prospect to be more vulnerable, by just making them comfortable, right, about your business. And when we're talking about reports, so it's up to you, depending on what market you're in, what kind of information is necessary for you to have and also understand in the rapport building phase to really plan on these next kind of steps here, right? So it's really different for everyone, and that's why I don't recommend just taking a script from a program and asking questions you don't even understand why you're asking them, right? So if that's you, just honestly go over your script again and ask yourself the question, okay, if I were plastic surgeon, plumber, real estate agent, would this question make sense for me, right? And then for you, would this be valuable for me to understand so I can play on their pain or understand their goal better, right? So that's kind of what you want to do in the rapport building phase, okay? And then these are honestly, in my opinion, the most important things. So it's important to understand the obstacles they may be facing or the ones they have, right? It's not just asking the question, hey, so, as a plastic surgeon, what's your biggest obstacle right now? Because, I did that and they don't really have any obstacles. They really just have wants in growing their business, right? So it's not the right question to ask. So it's important to understand either one of these, okay? And then once you actually understand that, it's important to memorize this one, because once you actually sell them on the result, you disclose your offer, you can really show how specifically their obstacle or want gets, given by your offer that you have for your market, okay? And then past experiences. So this is a big one. And a lot of agencies, just go into the market not really knowing what they're doing, and they've worked with some clients in the market you're currently serving, and they've been burned before, right? And if you actually understand what people have been burned on, you can really just, once again, when you're disclosing your offer, selling them on the result, say, so let me just give you an example here. So let's say an agency has worked with a plastic surgeon, and the plastic surgeon is based in the United States, and the agency actually provided them with leads from Africa, right? Believe me, that stuff happens. And once that, once you actually understand that and you specifically mention that, you make sure that when you're getting new leads for them that convert into new customers, that are actually based in a specific geographical area. So you sell them what they've been burned on, and they're not like really retracted to working with you just because this wasn't put on a table, right? So it's a really important thing to understand. And that was just like a quick example, and it could be like a lot of other things, okay? And once you actually understand their past experiences, you really just want to make sure you sell them what they've been burned on, okay? This is the example I gave 10 seconds ago. And then moving forward, what you want to do is really understand the goal that they have with your business and the goal that they want to set with you, okay? And then specifically the second one, because once you actually understand their goal, you can sell them on the result, right? Because it's where they want to get, and you're pretty much like the gap to it. But before you even dive into the result and saying like, yeah, we can help you make X, Y, and Z revenue, you really want to have a clear disclosed offer, okay? And here's just like kind of quickly how we do it. And I'd also check out my last video on like our agency sales script live rundown, where we will literally just, show you how we have our offer disclosed. So it's like in the sales call itself that I have with the plastic surgeon. So that's what you want to do. You want to clearly disclose your offer so people understand what you're getting, right? So for instance, we give our clients like a dashboard. They, can just have an overview on, see like, the texts that are coming in, coming out, leads that are coming in, coming out, and literally everything just from A to Z, okay? So you want to have a clear disclosed offer. And then once you've actually done all of these successful, you would just want to sell them on the result, right? Because you've literally just hit every step out of the park, and there's literally no objection more to give. And once you sell them on the result and they actually trust you, it's pretty much a deal closed, right? And yeah, guys, that's pretty much like how I want to elaborate on this video on how to sell your agency service. I'll be definitely making a new video also on how to build an agency brand, and for agency and consultants, also how to make valuable resonating content for your market, and also really how to get client results for your client that you're working with for your agency or consulting business. So that was the video, guys, on sales and how to really sell your agency service by understanding the key concept and what to really do when you come from a place of obscurity, and the sales itself and the structure along with it. So I hope the video was valuable to you. I'll definitely be making way more video on sales, and if you actually would like to see a specific subject on kind of content for agency owners or consultants, just leave it in the comments down below. I'll happily make it. And with that, I conclude this video. And lastly, what I just wanted to say, as I said at the beginning of this video, if you need any help with your agency or consulting business, you can actually schedule a call using the link in the description. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.